This scene gave birth to the iconic Nicolas Cage meme we all know today, and it came from the 1989 horror comedy film, Vampire's Kiss. In the film, Nicolas Cage plays a sarcastic and over-the-top literary agent by the name of Peter Lowe's. One casual night, while at the bar, he meets a beautiful woman by the name of Rachel and takes her home. But she's no ordinary woman, she's a blood-sucking vampire that surprises him with a bite. Watch as poor Peter tries to bring his life back together as a vampire. And this movie here was recommended to me by Peculiar Notions down in the comments. So thank you so much for the recommendation. I absolutely love this film and we're going to talk about it. Now, I've recently watched Longlegs and I reviewed it on the channel, and that is the reason why I watched this film here. I asked you guys, what other film has Nicolas Cage been in where he acts crazy, where he acts as a lunatic? And, Longlegs, best horror film in 2024 so far. Of course, I got the recommendation of Vampire's Kiss. And this film did not disappoint at all. Nicolas Cage plays a character that's over the top, is a lunatic. His sarcasm in this film is unmatched, right? Everything that he does in this film is just times 1,000, right? And his sarcasm is hilarious. Of course, this being a horror comedy is very strong in this film. Now, I didn't know this is the movie where the iconic meme came from, right? Back in, when was it, 2014, 2012, when all the memes came out, the meme faces. You had, the Jackie Chan meme, and then you had this one here, which is Nicolas Cage. The meme is, I guess the caption is, "You don't say," and he has that face. And this is where it came from. This movie is where it came from. So I thought it was pretty interesting to see that. Now, there's one interesting point I kind of want to go over, and that's basically you can watch this film from two perspectives, right? You have one perspective where Peter actually did get bit by a vampire, and he does turn into a vampire, and he is trying to live his life as a vampire, right? And the other aspect of it, you can watch this film watching it as if Peter is only hallucinating all of this. He's only going crazy, right? You got a couple scenes, for example, when he's looking himself in the mirror. Obviously, you can see him in the mirror, so he's not a vampire, but he can't see himself. And another interesting point is that, when he's outside in the sun, when the sun hits him, he doesn't disintegrate or he doesn't get, burnt like a normal vampire would. He simply wears these giant sunglasses when he sees the sun, and he tries to stay out of the sun as much as possible, but he doesn't die with the sun. So it could be that he's just hallucinating all of this and he's just gone crazy, right? He's talking to his therapist at the end and he's imagining everything in his head. Is it too long of a stretch to say that he's just imagining these things, right? So that's an important point I wanted to cover. An interesting point I wanted to cover. In the comments for this film, there was a comment that basically said that this movie is similar to American Psycho. And I thought that was interesting as well, because in American Psycho, as well as Vampire's Kiss, you have these two guys, or you have this guy, a white collar, working in New York, and they're a lunatic. They're crazy. Obviously, American Psycho is a darker, more serious tone film, right? He actually kills people, which Vampire's Kiss, he does kill someone, but it's a comedy, right? That's the only difference between the two. I don't remember the ending of American Psycho, but the ending to Vampire's Kiss wasn't all that great. I felt like the ending was abrupt. I do feel like Peter wanted to die at the end. He was carrying around this giant piece of wood. Alva's brother comes there to, confront him. He puts the wood over his chest, and Alva's brother basically slams the wood into him, killing him, right? So I do think that Peter did want to die. He's been through so much, he's going crazy, and he just wanted to die. But that being said, nothing really gets resolved. There's no, character development throughout the story. Peter is the same person throughout the film, and the film doesn't necessarily have the craziest plot. It's pretty simple, right? It's just a guy who got bit by a vampire, and everyone around him is just it's just reacting to it. You watch this movie just to watch Nicolas Cage act this way, really, and the comedy. I thought it was pretty funny throughout the film, but you're not watching it for the plot. You're not watching it for the character development. You're not watching it for anything else other than Nicolas Cage acting like this, right? And in my opinion, I think this is the best way that Nicolas Cage acts. This lunatic, this crazy person, and is why I loved him so much on Longlegs. You know, I think that's his best acting yet. Personally, I feel like that's the best Nicolas Cage. But other than that, I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good movie. Definitely a movie you want to watch just to pass the time, just to watch with your friends, you know, just to have a laugh. So thank you so much, Peculiar Notions, for recommending me this movie. And that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time I finish watching a movie or finish reading a book.